now I'd like to introduce my very good friend, Aakash Trivedi. He goes to Westford Academy, and he likes to play basketball and the guitar, and loves football. His idol is Steve Jobs. And today he's going to talk about the place where we live, Boston. So I'd like to welcome Aakash to the studio.
Okay. Thank you, Reva, for that speech on your trip. It was really interesting to learn about the Leaning Tower of Pisa and have information given to me by a person that has been there firsthand. So, my name is Aakash Trivedi. I go to Westford Academy, and currently I'm a sophomore there. Today I'm going to be talking about the city we are all native to, Boston, Massachusetts. And before I get started, I want to let you know the three things I'm going to be talking about. So, I'm going to be talking about why Boston is so important to the history of the USA. I also want to be talking about significant big events that have happened in Boston. Also, I want to talk about what Boston is like nowadays. So, first thing I want to say is why Boston is important. Boston is an important place because when the Pilgrims first came to the USA, where did they come? They came to Plymouth, Massachusetts. So basically, Boston, Massachusetts was the first place in the USA that was discovered out of everything. And so the next thing I want to talk about is why that Boston was Massachusetts was the sixth state to ratify the Constitution. And
how far back was that, sir?
That was 400 years back.
So what other things is Boston famous for then in those days?
Boston is famous for, so basically, now it comes back to me. So Boston was where everything was unified. So at that time, all the states would be fighting with each other for land. And when the Revolutionary War started, Boston was the place where it all came together. All the people met there, the Congress and everybody met there. And that's where they made all their decisions, made all the big documents, and Boston is a place where everything came together and everybody essentially became unified as one whole country. And after that, all the states were able to be unified as one and move on and create this country that we all live in today. So this moves me into my next topic of significant things and big events that have happened in Boston. So, to name a few, I would like to say the Boston Massacre, Boston Tea Party, and recently, the Boston Marathon bombing. The Boston Massacre happened in the 1770s, and this happened as a cause of the King's intolerable tax on the Boston colonists. The Boston colonists were so angry at this that they marched up to the British soldiers, the redcoats at the time, because they always wore redcoats, and they always meant business. They didn't fool around with anything. If they wanted to shoot you, they would just shoot you. And so the Boston colonists were protesting to them, and the British soldiers got so agitated, like they always do, and they turned around and opened fire at the colonists. And the colonists started throwing snowballs first, I should say that. And that angered the British soldiers, and the soldiers turned around, shot the colonists, and killed 5, injured up to 20. And the protest by the Boston colonists made King George even more mad, which was British's king at the time. And this made him even more mad, and so he put even more tax, this time more on tea, which brings us to the next topic, right? And that topic is of Boston Tea Party, which is not just a ride at Canada Lake Park, but it's also an event that took place. So, the Boston Tea Party happened as a cause of intolerable tea tax. And the tea tax angered the Boston colonists, so they dressed up as Native Americans, they went into the Boston Harbor, and they dumped about 2 to 4 tons of tea into the Boston Harbor. And they did it, and they just ran away. And this made King George even more mad. And this is what really sparked the revolution and brought the country together after winning the war. So now I'm going to move into something a little bit more recent, right? The Boston Marathon bombing, which happened just a few years back, obviously. And this was the first time in this century that anything this significant had happened to Boston. And it happened during a Boston Marathon, which is the most prestigious thing that ever happens in Boston annually. So two brothers who were from Russia, who had recently converted into Islam, they came and they were just walking around in the Boston Marathon. Nobody thought they were doing anything until they looked at the footage. And they came and they left a backpack next to a pole, and around midday the backpack exploded and it was a bomb in there. So then Boston authorities, how technologically advanced they have become, figured out in a matter of 24 hours the two people that had done it, and they're still trialing to find out the motive, because there were two brothers. So this first brother was shot on the MIT campus that night. The second brother is still in prison and being tried to this day. So they're still trying to figure out the motives for that, so we're not exactly sure. And two more things I'd just like to add that just came to mind. So last week, or a few weeks back, I think 2 weeks back, if anybody wants to chip in after I say, they can. The new governor of Massachusetts was chosen, and also Boston was selected to be hosting the 2024 Olympics, which is kind of a big deal because the Olympics are only every 4 years, and it's a thing that happens with the whole world, and it's a big event every summer. So everybody wants to chip in, and when the governor was elected, they can.
2 months back, sir?
2 months. Okay. So 2 months back, it was Charlie Baker that was elected. Yeah. So this moves me into my third topic of what kind of a place Boston is now. So now Boston's a hub for three big things: sports, education, and healthcare. So first, let's talk about sports. Boston has dominated the sports world for this entire century, since 2000 to 2015, still dominating, still going. So let's start with the Patriots. The Patriots have won 3 Super Bowls in this century so far, the most out of any team. The Celtics have always been the best team. They're the best team in NBA history. The Bruins have been recent contenders and seem to be continuing their streak. And also the Red Sox have won 3 championships in this century as well. Now the next thing I want to move to is education. Everybody knows that education is huge in Boston. We are #1 in the whole United States, and the United States is essentially the best in the world. So basically, we are in the best education hub in the entire world, which is kind of an awesome thing for us, right? So now I want to say that people that are from other countries like India, China, they all come here to study, and that's kind of amazing that we have the best. We have MIT and Harvard, the best 2 colleges in their field. For medical, business, and law is Harvard, and for engineering technology is MIT, which is really amazing that we can drive 40 minutes and we'll be in the presence of the best people in their fields. And the next thing I want to talk about is healthcare. Healthcare is huge in Boston. Boston is home to the best and cleanest facilities in the entire world. If somebody acquired Ebola even, they were brought here so they could be treated. And that's amazing that, if any one of us got sick at this moment, we could drive from here, I think it's 20 minutes, and we could be in the hands of the best healthcare takers in the entire world. And also, I want to add one joke. So does anybody know one thing that Boston is #1 in, according to driving?
According to?
In driving.
In driving?
Highest theft of cars.
High speed.
Close. All these things are true.
Biotech?
Biotech.
Biotech, all these things are true, but the thing that comes to my mind is running yellow lights. Boston people always run yellow lights. Another thing is they mix up their khaki pants with their khakis.
I have a question though.
Yes.
Is it illegal to run yellow lights, sir?
He asked if it is illegal to run yellow lights, and I would say no, it's not illegal, but
But when it's turning red.
when it's turning red, it is illegal.
Yellow means drive faster.
fast. That's what we are
People in Boston it is.
doing. So you're turning 16, so hopefully you're not gonna do that.
Okay, so that essentially sums everything up. So I want to end it off by saying that today I talked about why Boston is an important place in U.S. history, significant and big events that have taken place in Boston, and also I talked about what kind of a place Boston is now. So I want to send you guys all off with a good message that don't ever feel bad about living in Boston. It's a great place to live, and your kids are getting the best education, and you're being taken care of by the best doctors. Besides the weather, it's the best place.
The summers are beautiful though.
Short.
Short.
Short but nice. Summer, fall, spring.